Hello and welcome to February stamping. Let's create these two cards today. We will need this Flowing Flowers stamp set, and then I also pulled this stamp from Bamboo Beauty. That's almost a tongue twister. All right, let me get my ink out. My inspiration came from the catalog today, page 37. You'll see this card here. While I've changed the colors and the design some, I would like to show you how to create this card very simply, very easily, but the cards come out just exquisite. So to do a half sheet wonder, you can make two card fronts from a half sheet of paper. So go ahead and cut your cardstock to 5.5 by 8.5. Keep the 5-inch edge across the top and just draw a horizontal line right through the middle of the cardstock. Okay, now to follow this stamping plan, you'll see with these florals, they stamped the pink floral 3 times, and then they stamped the leaf imagery 3 times. Okay, so our stamping map is going to look like this. I'm going to stamp the floral 3 times in polished pink, and then I'm going to stamp the leaf 3 times. I am using Pear Pizzazz. In the catalog they used Old Olive. Okay, and I will do that twice for 2 card fronts. Okay, so this is an easy way to make 2 cards quickly. You're stamping once. Okay, I've got my foam mat here. I do have scrap paper. I'm using the polished pink you can see here, and I'm using the largest image from this stamp set. Oops, I forgot to draw my line here. Let me do that. Okay, here's the first image. Now I end up stamping this larger image twice across from each other like this, diagonal. Okay, and then I'm grabbing a smaller image and I'm going to stamp in my number 2 position. All right, so do you see how my stamped imagery follows that stamp map? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Now I'm going to pull the leaf imagery. I am stamping in Pear Pizzazz. I did, just FYI, I did split these stamps apart. I didn't want the flower and the leaf imagery together, so I just used my rubber scissors and cut that down. Now the leaf imagery I do stamp off. And do you see it just hugs that flower perfectly? No need for masking if you split that stamp. I do want this piece right here to rub off. I don't want it to go onto the second card panel. Okay? And so that's 1, 2, and now I just need to do 3. I forgot to stamp off on that one, but it was fine. Okay, 3, and now I need to stamp 2 more times. All right, how easy was that? You've got 2 card fronts ready to go. Just follow that easy stamping plan there, stamp map. Okay, I'm pulling my trimmer in here at this point. You do need a trimmer that can cut very small slivers of paper off. So on this card I chose to keep a very thin border. I've only got a 1/8 of an inch border. So I'm going to go around and just trim a little sliver off of each side here. Make sure that my card is square. Okay, so now here I'm going to go to 5.5 and then I'm going to subtract 1/8, okay? Which gives me 5 3/8. Trim that down. Now that's perfect. Now this one I'm going to go to 4 1/4. Take down 1/8, which takes me to 4 1/8. Okay? And now I've got a perfect card, for perfect panel size for my card. Look at that. Okay, I just need to repeat with the second card front. Okay, we are on our way. We've got our background panel stamped. For my sentiments, I'm pulling these two sentiments from the Flowering Rain Boots set. And I will use the Label Me Lovely punch to punch those out. Again, we're keeping with the simple and easy card making today. This is a very versatile punch. It will punch out many of your sentiments. Saves a lot of time if you can just punch those sentiments out. Now what happens here is when I put these sentiments onto my card base, because I'm using a white card base, the sentiments don't really show up. And so I did not want to add die cuts here because I was trying to keep things simple and straightforward. So I went with torn paper. It's more organic, but with this stamp set, this Flowing Flowers, the organic torn paper looks beautiful. So what I'm doing here is I'm just tearing this. This paper is a little shreddy. You will see that this Stampin' Up! Paper is solid. The pink goes all the way through. You're not going to tear that and get white inside in your core. So I just pull this apart here. Okay, and so now what I need is I need a couple of shapes to put behind my sentiments here. And so I'm just laying this torn piece out here and playing with it, seeing what it looks like. Tearing it down a little bit more, and I'm happy with that. Okay, and same thing on this side. I'm not going to tear this one down much. I am trying to bridge between the pink flowers with the pink paper, so I don't want a lot of space, a lot of white space showing. So I leave those torn pieces fairly large. Okay, the flowers here, because they're distinctive imagery, they do have two-tone shapes, so I do go ahead and pull in my sponge dauber and sponge the edges, and that will mimic the two-tone ink colors, the lighter and the darker, on the torn paper, and it will match the two-tone flowers that you see there. Now be careful when you sponge these, when you get that ink on there, don't set those directly onto your card. Give that ink a minute to dry, or you will end up with little smudge marks on your card fronts. Just where the ink isn't dry, it may spill over onto your card front. So I just set them on my scrap piece here to dry. And you can sponge as much or as little as you want. And then here I was trying to remember how I had these torn pieces. I sponged them and then forgot which one went on which card. Okay, you'll see here I popped up the punch portion, not the whole piece. So the pink is glued directly to the card. The sentiment is popped up on foam here. Now I like this applicator tool that I'm using here to put the dimensionals down, but I have found that the fastest way to take the paper off of those foam pop-ups is with the tip of the paper snips. Okay, let me pop this down. Okay, our cards are coming together here. So you will need a small hole puncher. Any hole puncher will do. And I'm just punching a hole here, and then I'm going to pull my crochet thread. Any thread that you have, any ribbon that you have. The polished pink ribbon that is in the catalog, the annual catalog right now, would be very pretty here too. Again, I was just trying to keep things very simple with this card, so nothing's too fancy, and yet you have this exquisite card when you're finished. Okay, I'm just evening up my thread here. When I pulled that initial bit of thread off, some of it had some ink on it, so I just threw that portion out, so I had to pull another piece. Okay, just double bows just like you tie your shoes. Keep it simple. Okay, I'll get these glued to the card. You want to hold that down just for a second and make sure everything's flat. Tie an extra knot just to make sure everything is secure. Repeat for your second card. I'm just pulling my Pear Pizzazz card bases here, and I will attach these panels to the card base with the seal. You will want to add writing panels to the inside of these cards as well. Okay, and I noticed I still have a little pencil line showing right there, so I pulled that off. I just erased that. And that is it. Oh, I forgot one thing. This little image out of Bamboo Beauty, I don't know, I just loved it with the pink. I just thought, oh, simple but so fancy. There we go. Thanks for joining. Have a great day.